Billy Nolan has 30 years of experience in aviation and once served as the acting administrator for the FAA. Billy, thank you so much for being with me on Morning in America.
Good morning, Marky. Thank you for having me on this morning.
So the FAA temporarily banning drone flights above 22 areas of New Jersey. For starters, talk me through how significant and how rare that kind of move is.
Well, let me just say, you look at our nation's airspace, and there are roughly about 1 million plus drones that operate in the NAS. And of that number, roughly half of those are doing commercial operations. So think things like getting medicine, getting supplies, getting shipments from, a major, e-retailer, right? So those are happening. And then the other half is roughly recreational flights. And now, folks who fly drones, number one, they are required to register. There's something called remote ID that identifies the drone, identifies the location of the operator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and there have been provisions all along for what we call critical infrastructure. Think military air bases, electrical facilities, power stations, et cetera, that have been in place.
But have you
Drones are
seen this
required.
kind of ban before? I mean, in your time as acting FAA, administrator, was this something that you ever issued yourself or have seen?
No, I did not, and certainly I received classified briefings every week during my time as FAA administrator. So you're forever looking at these things. This is probably out of an abundance of caution, if you will, right? To say to the public who are flying drones, especially recreational drone operators who may not be as steeped in all the requirements as someone who's doing commercial operations. So you want to make sure that number one, they understand what the rules set are. They understand the places where they can and cannot operate. It's limited to 400 feet AGL, above ground level and below. I mean, you're a pilot, you know that sometimes the skies look empty, but we are just seeing, a rapid increase in the number of drone operations across the country.
The other thing that's just fascinating is that this ban also comes with the warning, right, that deadly force could be
Yes.
used against drones that pose an imminent threat. They're flying illegally.
Yes.
If nothing nefarious is going on, as the White House says, why would that be necessary, Billy?
Well, I think, again, it's an opportunity to just reaffirm. You get to this time of year, Christmas next week, and this is the time of year where you see a lot more folks, oh, I want a drone for Christmas, or I want this for Christmas. So this is just a reminder by the FAA that you're required to operate by a set of rules. And those rules can be fairly restrictive. You cannot fly over an airport. You cannot fly over military installations. There are parts within city and localities that have their own sets of restrictions there. So I think this is just an opportunity to get out ahead of this on the part of the FAA to say that those flying drones, you've just got to make sure that you are abiding by the rules and not put anyone or anything in harm's way.
Lastly, before I let you go, are you confident that this isn't at the hands of a foreign adversary? And what do you tell Americans who are worried and they look up at the night sky and they don't know what's going on night after night for weeks on end?
Yeah. Well, our skies can be pretty crowded at times. I feel fairly confident. And of course, Secretary Mayorkas is on and talked about. So I'm going to leave it to the folks who are sitting at the desk and in the know every single day in terms of, how well we are protected within the United States. So I do have a sense of comfort there. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be vigilant, right? And then I think this is the signal that the FAA is sending as well to the public, that we will always be vigilant. And to the extent that we find people who are not doing what they should be doing, the FAA can use every means at its disposal to sort of put a cease and desist, if you will, out there.
Yeah, well, it's just been such a bizarre story that's officially reached this fever pitch, that ban lasting until January 17th. Billy Nolan, I know you've been a hot commodity. Everybody wanting to talk to you. So thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time on a Friday.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks again for having me on this morning.
Yeah, talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.